I'm Matt.
I'm Shane.
And if you like what you hear, make sure you hit that thumbs up button real hard. And make sure you subscribe to Comic Movie Marks.
And also click that little bell for all of the notifications.
Whee!
Always remember,
if Trailer Trash can do it,
anyone can do it.
Hello and welcome everyone to another Comic Movie Marks video.
Today we have more Heroic.Gateway news, I guess. Rumors.
I say bullshit. I go with bullshit at this point.
Yeah, so another post that we're going to talk about that they posted on their Instagram, Heroic.Gateway on Instagram. If you have not, for whatever reason, heard of them or seen our other videos where we talk about Heroic.Gateway.
So, yeah, they became popular because they made a post a while back about possibly seeing the Snyder Cut. It was a tad bit cryptic, but basically it was pretty straightforward saying they saw the Snyder Cut, or somebody did. That post got removed. It started a bunch of shit. And now they send more cryptic messages, and it kind of feels like this whole page is going cryptic and weird now lately. It used to be a page of over 200,000 followers, because we've been following it for quite a while. And then their account got hacked, got deleted, or something to that effect, and they've had to start over. Ever since they started over, they've been producing a bunch of weird stuff. Like they got these random messages sometimes. They get this random posts, sometimes. And this one really takes the cake. So, again, this is all speculation. This is all coming from these guys that may or may not have some kind of tie-in with the DC universe. They seem to pretend they have a source in some manner. I don't know if they actually do. No one can really confirm that. They're, again, super cryptic about what they're talking about. And they kind of just throw things out there to see what people will say. Well, this one has seemed to taken it to the whole to a whole new level. Again, all speculation. They made this post. They deleted this post almost right afterwards, and now they have set their page to private. So it's interesting. / it may be absolutely fucking nothing in the end.
Right? Yeah, it's intriguing. Could be something, and maybe that's why they are being cryptic, is because it's legit and they can only say so much. So, and there's that side of the coin, and then the other side is maybe they're just trying to gain some traction. So who knows?
Yeah, honestly, we don't know. We don't know what they're trying to do, but we were able to take a screenshot of their caption they put on their post before they deleted it. So that kind of helps a little bit.
So the post from Heroic Gateway was, "I've recently learned that Mr. # Joss Whedon is not actually the one to blame on what happened with JL. Joss was really fighting for what Zack envisioned. Within his 2 weeks of, in parentheses, unsupervised reshoots, he was unhappy and frustrated. In the end, he just gave in and took the fall for someone else's mistakes. And I know you all can guess who that is. # release the Snyder Cut."
Again, how you just throw this information out. There's been nonstop speculation for the longest time now of who really caused some of these issues with Justice League. That guy Humberto Gonzalez, and he got frustrated at all the hate that's been going on towards Jeff Johns lately. And a lot of people are blaming Jeff Johns for what happened to Justice League and what also ultimately may or may not have happened with Zack Snyder. Did he get fired? Did he not? Did he leave on his own volition? Or did he just kind of get squeaked out of the situation while they did their thing? We don't know, and that's always what this is all about. We just don't know. But he got mad at all the speculation about that and said, you guys are blaming the wrong... I'm paraphrasing his tweet for the most part, but you're basically blaming the wrong person. And somebody asked him, well, inform us. Who do we blame? And he put, your Lord and Savior, blah, blah, blah. I guess implying Zack Snyder.
I'm not normally a praying man, but if you're up there, please save me, Superman.
I guess he got frustrated and started saying that who you blame for Justice League is Zack Snyder. Who could Heroic Gateway be talking about? Are they talking about Jeff Johns? Are they talking about Kevin Tsujihara? John Berg? Who are we talking about here in this situation?
I think right now we're kind of at the point where everyone within the DC universe, or anyone who's following this whole thing, just kind of unravel really closely. Everyone is looking for someone to point the finger at. No matter who it is, and a lot of people have different speculation of who it could be. Some people, and I'm inclined to think that this is, in my opinion, the correct way to go about it. But some people are tired of the blame game, and they're just saying, let's just focus on the hashtag and gaining support for Snyder, because there's so much speculation, and like you said, this cryptic message does nothing but to only try to take some pressure off of Joss Whedon and deflect it onto someone else. But there's a number of different people who they could be referring to. So to even say, I know you all can guess who that is, that means that they, in their hearts, believe it was one individual and who they want to blame, and they're trying to push everyone towards that. So,
or they're leaving it just open to interpretation, so people could just blame who they want to blame. They could blame Jeff Johns or John Berg or Kevin Tsujihara or somebody involved in the whole situation, and that way they could blame them and feel validated. I mean, that's what I mean. It's so cryptic, it's so open, and these guys seem to have just put out posts and shit to let people chew on for a little bit and kind of relish in the idea of, did these guys watch the Snyder Cut? Oh my God, these guys may watch the Snyder Cut. That means it's real. That means it's complete. That means we could get it pretty soon. I mean, they throw that out there and it caused a bunch of hubbub. Now they throw this out there, and now people are going to speculate, who are they talking about? Are they talking about Joss? Who are they talking about other than Joss Whedon? So then it's going to just revolve some hate back towards either somebody else in the situation, like Jeff Johns or Kevin Tsujihara, or people are going to be like, no, you're fucking wrong. It's Joss Whedon all the way. It just leads up to a bunch of conversation that's not really helping the situation too much.
Right.
I mean, we could make fun of it, because we made fun of the whole thing with Joss Whedon talking about how, what he likes to incorporate in his movies with civilians and stuff. And so he added the Russian families. That's kind of what that whole thing kind of came down to. I mean, that's funny that he just added that in, and it was poor execution. That's what we're talking about. It's the point the blame at him and just try to force all hate towards one individual is not really going to do much for the whole cause. And that's kind of like where this hatred for DC fans come from, I think, sometimes, is this overwhelming amount of hatred towards certain individuals. Now, when it comes to Joss Whedon, the thing I have a problem with is that he knew he was using shitty jokes, and he was reusing a bunch of his old shit and just threw them in there anyway, because he got the writing credit, and he used the same stupid thing where Flash falls on her tits, just like he did in Age of Ultron. We read the Joss Whedon script for Wonder Woman. He had the same exact bit with Steve Trevor sitting on the lasso of truth, but in this case, in Justice League, it was Aquaman sitting on the lasso of truth, doing the same thing that Steve Trevor did in his script from 2006. I mean, it was the same stuff. You saw it. The Russian family, like we talked about, same trope that he used in in Age of Ultron and the first Avengers movie. So those little things right there, those little pieces, we can blame on Whedon, because we know he introduced those into this universe. Now, the 2-hour runtime, the changing of the colors, the changing of Superman, because from what we understand, like 90% of the Superman scenes are removed. Like, you could just tell by the face, by the mustache, by the terrible CGI. You could tell how much was really removed from Superman. Who made those decisions is a story for another day. And that's the person that, I think ultimately made the poorest decisions of all. But again, I don't know why Heroic Gateway did this. They obviously got a lot of backlash from people, or in some manner, because they deleted the post and made their account private. So to take anything these guys have to say in consideration at all, in any fashion, I think it's just pointless.
I think I think it's a mixture of a lot of people who are to blame for this whole thing. I don't put it completely on Joss's shoulders to say that he's solely responsible for Justice League tanking. I think someone actually commented on this post that we're discussing right now, and they said, well, if it wasn't Joss Whedon, it was going to be someone else. Well, I agree with that. I think that Warner Brothers, to a large extent, whoever it is, someone within Warner Brothers who has a lot of power, whoever you want to point fingers at, was going to go a specific direction regardless. So if that's Joss Whedon or someone else. In my opinion, if you are working that closely with Zack Snyder and he's entrusting you, those are some of the rumors that we've heard, is that Zack Snyder handpicked Joss Whedon to finish the project. Who knows if that's true or not. And a lot of the cast was led to believe Joss Whedon's just going to finish Zack Snyder's vision. If that's what you are tasked to do from someone else and the studio's telling you, no, you're going to do all of these things, in my opinion, you walk away from that. You say, you know what, I was brought on to do one thing, to finish one director's vision, and that's what I came on for, and I'm out. And then let them pluck someone else out who's willing to completely change the entire thing. What, to me, it comes across as, and I think you brought up some fantastic examples of that, is that he thought he was going to be the Lord and Savior of the DC universe. That by the time he threw all of his flavor into it and brought all of the rehashed a ton of things, that this movie was going to make a killing and people were going to say, look what Joss Whedon did. He saved the DC universe. And that's why he made so many changes. And that's why he brought in his own flavor and completely changed the movie and the outcome of it. That's just my opinion. That's kind of how I look at it. So I think it definitely is higher ups within Warner Brothers, but I also feel that he is largely to blame as well, because he could have just easily walked away from it or said, no, that let's go ahead and I'm just going to finish what's already here, and kind of fought back. And instead he completely turned it around and did everything. You can handpick, regardless of the mustache. You can start to handpick all these different things out that are Joss Whedon, and unfortunately, he's even coming out and confirming, like the Russian civilians, things that were like, oh man, I hope that's not Zack Snyder because that's stupid, and it's Joss Whedon. So he added so many different things. Yes, I get the pressure from the studio, but dude, come on, you can't tell me that you needed the money. and that this was your big break and you couldn't walk away from it. To me, you don't try to repaint over art and then call it your own. You just say, hey, I was just gonna touch it up a little bit and move on from it. And that's just kind of my opinion. I didn't do it! Yeah, as you said, who knows really what the story was. I don't know if we will ever find out until someone does some digging and creates the most epic comic movie documentary of all time and uncovers everything that went on with this entire Justice League fiasco. And fiasco, is that a word?
Yeah, fiasco. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just pulling shit out.
Just like Whedon.
But yeah, exactly, just like Whedon. But Heroic.Gateway, they're somehow continuing the buzz, and I'm inclined to agree with some of the people who on social media who are kind of like, you know what, let's put this nonsense behind us, the finger pointing, and let's just focus on supporting Zack and getting his movie released.
So that wraps this thing up for the most part. Heroic.Gateway is a pretty solid page for the most part, where they were at one point. I don't know what happened to them in this case. I don't know what's going on. I almost wondered, I asked Shane, I'm like, do you think they're hacked again and somebody's just fucking around on their account? Like it just seems like there's a bunch of random shit going on that never really happened to his page before. And I just baffled sometimes by what's going on. More cryptic messages, just random things out there, just spewing things out there that they can't really confirm, or they're not really backing up with any kind of source or anything. So what do we do as fans? We don't just take it and run with it. We need to analyze it, and hopefully we'll figure out the truth someday. But for now, let's just hope that we get that Snyder Cut. Hopefully it comes out in some fashion. Hopefully we get some news in San Diego Comic-Con. I know a lot of people are hoping for Comic-Con. Some things are going to happen out there. We will definitely see then when that happens.
Yep, patiently waiting.
In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. You're one of very few to make it to the end.
Yes, thank you very much.
Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Comic Movie Marks Podcast and hit the notification bell. You know, all these fucking YouTube channels say this shit, so I'm going to say it now.
Yes, it's perfect. And if you want to hear our full podcast, you can check out our podcast on iTunes or any other podcast subscription service.
Make sure you subscribe. Thanks again.